Donnelly left apartment after Nathan declared loyalty to trans mother, court hears. The seven-member jury in the murder trial of Constable Noel Maton on Monday heard that he gave a statement to a police investigator on July 15, 2022, in which he said he tried to end an intimate relationship with Donnelly Donaldson before she left his Chelsea Manor apartment in St. Andrew for an unknown destination. Maitland's statement, which was read out in court by the investigator, who said it was recorded, alleged that Donaldson, after feeling displeased about the outcome of a conversation with him about a photograph of his trans mother in his apartment, told him that she was leaving. Donaldson has not been seen since July 12, 2022. She is presumed dead, and prosecutors are banking on a string of circumstantial evidence to secure a conviction in the case being tried in the Home Circuit Court in downtown Kingston. Nathan is on trial for the murder and preventing the lawful burial of a corpse in relation to the disappearance of Donaldson, a social media influencer and entrepreneur who was 24 years old at the time. She was last seen at the Chelsea Manor apartment complex. In the statement, Nathan said that he and Donaldson had an on and off relationship since 2019. He also said that he was still intimately involved with the mother of his child, Catherine Smith, who was a district constable. Donnelly Donaldson is my girlfriend. She's 24 years old. She lives with her mother and brother. I have known her since 2019. We had an on and off relationship. During the relationship, I was also involved with Catherine Smith. We shared a child, the police constable said in the statement. Donnelly was aware of this but continued the relationship. I drove my BMW to Donnelly's house where I picked her up on July 11, 2022 and spent the night at my house. She was wearing a black romper. She was wearing slippers, but I can't remember the color. She also had a yellow handbag. We arrived at my home. We talked for a while before retiring to bed, the statement read. Nathan said in the statement that about 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. on July 12, 2022, he prepared breakfast. Then she saw a picture of Catherine on the wall, and she was not pleased with it. It's not the first time she had seen it. She always told me to take it down. I told her that I could not take it down. I told her I could not, shunned her, because she has a child for me and I could not leave her out of my life. She asked me if I was choosing Catherine over her. I told her I could not continue the relationship because I could not shun her with a child, the statement read. The court heard that Maitland told the investigator that she and Donaldson continued to talk about the situation until he started to ignore her before he fell asleep. He said he was awoken by her sometime in the afternoon and that she told him she was leaving and she left. Maitland said he heard an ice cream vendor outside and went to get some ice cream. I went to the apartment about 7:30 p.m. the same evening. I tried calling her cell phone and got voicemail. I messaged her though. This was done on WhatsApp and I got no response. She was still upset. That's how she behaves when she's upset. The following day, Wednesday, July 13, 2022, I called her mother and her mother told me she did not hear from her. I called her brother and he said he was at work. I contacted a friend of hers and she said she has not heard from her for a while. Nathan said he also spoke to a neighbor who allegedly told him that he saw Donaldson standing on the step, but she never saw where she turned. After the police investigator finished reading the statement, a detective inspector took the stand. He said that in July 2022, he was placed in charge of the investigations into Donaldson's disappearance. The matter was adjourned until Thursday, when the jury is expected to be shown a controversial set he believed to be crucial in this case. Attorneys representing Maitland are King's Counsel Larry Simmet, Chadwick Berry, Christopher Towson, Sanjay Simmet, and Keaton Kennedy Sherman. Deadly determination. As Hurricane Melissa pummeled Smithfield in Westmoreland, 50-year-old Vincent Fisher worked frantically to protect his concrete home. He tried to clear a fallen tree, secure shattered windows, and swept water from the flooding front room. Outside, the storm raged with 185 miles per hour winds hurling debris through the air. Inside, his children begged him to stop and shelter with them in a safer back room. He refused. Hours later, Fisher was found unresponsive in the bathroom. His children believe he suffered a heart attack. Only after his death did they learn he had been hiding a serious heart condition from them. Fisher and Cleveland Wayne Jeffrey, a farmer and animal lover, are believed to be among the recorded 45 deaths linked to Hurricane Melissa The government is yet to name the dead or the missing. Fisher and Jeffrey's death have left their families with grief, unanswered questions, and the difficult task of rebuilding amid widespread destruction. Travis Fisher is still trying to make sense of his father's behavior that day, determined, defiant, and strangely focused on doing as much as he could before the storm worsened. The breeze was hard and the force of it burst out the window in the front room. The rest of the family was in the back room, and he was out there sweeping out water. A tree fell down and he went outside in the rain to try to clear it, Travis recalled. We told him to come around into the other room that is safe, and he never wanted to come around there with us. He was just staying in the bathroom by himself, he explained. Later that evening, the senior fisher was found sitting on a container in the unfinished bathroom, unresponsive, but still showing faint signs of life. With the storm making roads impossible, medical aid was unreachable. Besides, the nearby public health facilities like the Savannah Mar Hospital were facing their own crisis with the destruction of critical buildings. With the help of neighbors who braved the storm and ran to assist, Travis lifted his father onto the bed in the back room, ironically, into the same room he had refused to enter earlier, his son reflected. There, as the family huddled together listening to the chaos outside, his body grew cold. That makes me vexed because we never wanted to come around there and see it there. Him still up and around here. If he did just listen to me, everything would have been all right, cried Travis, noting that an autopsy had not been performed as yet. It's like him sleep or in a coma or something. We got to find out that none of us knew that he was sick with his heart, said Travis, looking at the bewilderment as he spoke. Him never tell us. He told his friends, and it's them come to tell we after he's dead. Those are the things that he was keeping from us. And sometimes you live with people, even family, and you think you know what is going on with them when you truly don't know, he continued somberly. Because this is my father, we didn't know what he was going on with, and we didn't know what was happening to him. I really feel a way about that. Last Friday, friends and relatives described Fisher as hardworking, cheerful, and generous, with his catch when returning from sea. Even during the hurricane, he had insisted on securing his fishing boat in the yard. A few miles away from the cottage district, the family of Cleveland Wayne Jeffrey had just buried him. The repast was somber yet lively, with music playing and food cooking. They celebrated his life, though some residents of the area believe he died foolishly. Jeffrey was found dead near the spot where he had tied his skull before the storm. Relatives believe that as the wind intensified, he went out to check on them. I feel it for him to know that he had his animals raising, and because of his animals, he died. He was trying to take care of them before the water come down on them. That's why him go out to lose them, and then he got trapped. It ended up that his neck broke, but it is not easy for us. He was a good guy, said his older brother Ransford Jeffrey. He is a man who always loved his animals from childhood. If you want you and him to have anything, you play with his animals, added cousin Tanya Clark Smith. She recalled how another relative cautiously revealed the ill-fated news of Cleveland's passing 2 days afterwards. Still, he could not prevent her from breaking down, he noted. We are a close-knit family, and he was truly a good person and he will be missed, Clark Smith told reporters. Brandon Thomas, CEO of B.T. Thomas Funeral Home, who officiated the burial, described the days after the hurricane as overwhelming. His team retrieved about a dozen bodies under dangerous conditions, many from White House. More deaths followed in the weeks after. Some victims, they explained, had been alone for days from discovery. Their bodies were severely decomposed. Others were preserved by desperate means. One man's head was almost severed by a sheet of zinc, Thomas recalled as he outlined some of the cases. We were called for one body and ended up picking up 8. It was like a taxi stand. Everyone was calling us here and there, telling us there's one here and one there. COVID-19 was worse, but this one was very bad based on the number of pickups that we had in one day, he explained. He recalled how a lady in White House dumped heaps of salt on her dead spouse body to preserve it for 3 days after the storm. She had to go back into the old days and put the body on the sauce until we got there, and actually, when we got there, the body was good, he said. It looked like she bought about 50 pounds of salt. Another body was kept in an old fridge with ice on it, he listed, looking at the photographs of the bodies. Last Friday, Abigail Malcolm, People's National Party counsel for Cornwall Mountains Division, was raising funds to bury a constituent who had no relatives. While hosting a health fair with the University of the West Indies representatives, she criticized what she called unequal government distribution of relief. She recounted meeting a mother at a shelter under a tarpaulin. Just imagine you meet a mother with a baby. The baby is 3 years old, and when I took the baby, he had just the receiver and diaper. The mother had no clothes for the baby. At the health fair, clinical psychologist Shellyon told reporters that the day was focusing on traumatized children. The aim was to offer them a safe space away from the destruction and devastation back home, they noted. To subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.